How you doing? This is Corey Johnson, the Remax Runner. I'm here to give you my New York City Marathon tips, things that have helped me in the past, things that have helped me my past 3 marathons. I'm here to run my 4th. There are things that have worked for me, things that have not worked for me, and I'm here to help you out so you don't make the same mistakes that I have made in the past. Number 1, go to the expo early. Go Thursday or Friday, get to the Jacob Javits Center, get the bib, have fun, walk around. You've got a couple days until the race. If you wait until Saturday, this is not the day you should be on your feet for any length period of time. You should, if you're coming in from out of town, you shouldn't be doing a whole lot of sightseeing on Saturday. Get to the expo early on a Saturday if you got to be there. Get your bib, go back to the hotel, go back home, whatever you got to do. Stay off your feet. Sunday is going to be a very long day, and you deserve the rest on the Saturday. Number 2, your fueling, your carb, your water intake should start fairly early in on the week. I am not a nutritionist. I am just telling you what has worked for me in the past. Start fueling on Wednesday, intaking your carbs little by little. Start hydrating. If it's going to be a relatively warm day, you're going to be losing a lot of fluids. So obviously, start that water and start that fuel intake early. Number 3, you should have already gone to a Goodwill store to pick up some throwaway clothes, some jackets, maybe a pair of pants, a blanket to sit on. It should all be dependent on weather. So if you got to bring a poncho, something like that, you're gonna have to once you get to camp, you might not start the race for another 2 hours, and it's a long time to be standing around. Get to camp with your throwaway clothes, with your blanket, get to camp, stay off your feet, stay dry as long as possible, and then once it's race time, they have bins there to collect all the stuff that was Goodwill, and it's going to be Goodwill again. Number 4, if you don't know what a tangent is, a tangent is the shortest line from A to B, so from the start line to the finish line. And if you look down on the road, you'll see a blue line, and that is the shortest distance. It is impossible for you to be on that blue line at all times. So you're going to want to. What happens is you're gonna wind up running probably longer than 26 miles. I have run anywhere in between a quarter mile and a half mile longer because of any zigzagging that I've made. If I didn't take the corner as tightly as it should, because of this, on your watch, you might get an alarm and it might trigger that you've run a mile quicker than you actually have on the road. So what I do is I turn off auto lap. If I want an accurate time from what an actual mile was, I will push the button on my watch saying that I've reached the physical mile marker on the road and not the mile marker that my watch thinks I'm at. Number 5, it goes without saying, nothing new on race day, especially your shoes. I can't tell you how many times I've looked down and saw somebody's brand new shoes almost right out of the box. No new socks, no new shoes, no new shirts, nothing new. Whatever has been working for you during your long training runs, do that and keep to it, nothing new. Number 6, you're gonna have to time your fueling a little bit differently on race day. If you're a slower runner, you're not gonna start this race until almost 11 o'clock, 11:30. So it's a little bit different than what your training runs are. You're used to getting up on a Saturday or Sunday morning very early, getting out before the heat, and you're starting your fuel, and you're almost done with your race, with your running, maybe by 12 o'clock. So the race day is going to be much different. So you're going to have to figure out, maybe even do a rehearsal run a couple weeks before, figuring out what works best. Get up when you think you're going to be getting up. Go run when you think you're going to be running on race day, and fuel appropriately during that training run, because it's going to be drastically different on race day. Number 7. The race pacers, people that are there with the sticks, and they're running their pacers that run with you at the same rate that you think you're going to finish your race on. So if you're running a 4:30 marathon, you can stick with the 4:30 pacer. They'll have bracelets at the expo that you can wear and figure out exactly where you are in terms of pacing. My suggestion to you is you don't need to be running right next to the pacer. If you see the pacer off in the distance or slightly behind you or over to the side, every pacer has this group of people around them thinking that I have to stick exactly right next to them. You do not need to stick right with them. If you stick around them, you're gonna be on pace. You do not need to be right up their butt. Number 8, usually we like to use maybe the halfway point, the 13.1 mile marker, to figure out exactly how the race is going for us. And that might be true in some marathons. It is not true in New York City. Your race does not really start until the 59th Street Bridge. If you're feeling, I would really consider holding back as much as you can, run a very easy, low-key race until you get to the 59th Street Bridge. If you're feeling great after the 59th Street Bridge, go for it. But the race, any professional will tell you, does not start, if it's a real race, until you get over that 59th Street Bridge, because the challenges of this course are for the 59th Street Bridge on. You've got a long way to go. You've got to get up First Avenue, you got to get up and over into the Bronx, and then you got to come back up Fifth Avenue. And that last Fifth Avenue stretch is very, very challenging. So don't go for it until you get over the bridge at 59th Street. Number 9, let's say you get on the 59th Street Bridge and you're not feeling so well. It might be time to take a deep breath, swallow hard, and after you get after the bridge, start adjusting your goals then and see how you're feeling, because after this, the race is only going to get tougher. So after the 59th Street Bridge, you're not feeling so fantastic, and you achieved, you want to achieve a 4:30 marathon. It might time to start just adjusting, just to get your mind back into it. Maybe, you know what, all right, I'm not going to do this in 4:30. Maybe I can do it in 4:45 and start adjusting your times and your pace accordingly. And my number 10 tip for the New York City Marathon is finish. Finish this race no matter what. If you are not feeling well, listen, outside of being injured, obviously you would need to call it quits. But I strongly implore you, if you feel like you can drag yourself to the finish line, do not walk off the course. You must finish this race. The crowd is there. It's incredible. They can bring you along. You are going to regret it if you walk off the course. So if you're not injured, the reward when you cross the finish line and get that medal at the New York City Marathon is well worth it. Go for it. I don't care if you have to crawl. Finish the race outside of being injured. And that's it, guys. Congratulations on the training. Congratulations on getting this far. You are doing something that less than 1% of the population is doing. You're getting to the starting line of the New York City Marathon. It's a blast. It's a 26-mile block party. I said after training for my first marathon, I would never do this again. And guess what? I'm doing my 4th because of race day. Race day is incredible. The city of New York comes out. It's a fantastic day. If you say you're not going to do it again, I guarantee you when you get to that finish line, you're going to change your tune and you're probably going to be out there again. Good luck, everybody.